Hi everyone, how's life, and welcome to another one of my videos. So I am in Disneyland Paris today, currently standing in front of Disney's Hotel Santa Fe, as you can see behind me, because Halloween season is upon us and all the Disneyland Paris hotels, the official ones, have tried to decorate a little bit their hotels, and Santa Fe especially, which is where we are right now, has done some really cool stuff for the month of Halloween. So I thought in this video we'd go and check out all of the official Disneyland Paris resorts and see what they've done in terms of decorations for the Halloween season, and maybe I'll answer some of your questions as well. It's going to be a very chilled video, so come along with me. We're going to walk around the resorts with obviously the first one being Santa Fe. So yeah, come along with me. As I said, we are at Disney's Santa Fe Hotel at the moment. This is a Cars-themed hotel. It's a budget-friendly hotel. It's the lowest star hotel, Disney official hotel that you can stay at here in Disneyland Paris. And already, as you can see up there, they've oh my god, I love it. They've gone very creative this year with the Halloween decorations. So you can see they're using traffic cones to create some kind of monsters, maybe? I'm not sure. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think these are. In any case, I think it looks really cool. This is the entrance of the hotel. You can see the main logo over there in the middle, and then that would be the reception. So yeah, as you come into the hotel in the month of October 2022, you can expect to come across some interesting looking monsters, Halloween traffic cone type monsters. And that's not actually it. There are some other random bits and bobs here as well. For instance, this thing over here. It's obviously a big traffic cone, but it's also a monster. I absolutely love it. Well done, Santa Fe. And oh my god, I've just noticed they have even changed the actual logo of Santa Fe Hotel up there. So you can see normally they'd have the cars like Sally and McQueen, but up there, hopefully you can see, there's a little witch hat going on over there. And again, those monsters that we see have made an appearance on that big poster banner as well. So this is incredible, actually. I am so impressed. I feel like we're off to a good start on our little quest of Halloween decorations around Disneyland Paris resorts over here. Look at these though. Look at these funny looking scary monsters. They're so much fun. Oh, I've just spotted this middle section over here as well. I'm not sure what these things are. Initially I thought they might be like bins or trash cans, if you like, but it just looks to be some kind of tables. Orange tables with monster faces on them. Again, another traffic cone over here. You probably can hear the Cars music in the background. Yeah, there you go. There's another one over here, and then some more decorations down there as well. That's also where you would get your bus, the shuttle bus that takes you to Disneyland Paris. Right, I've just come out of the reception. I just went inside to check if there's any Halloween decorations inside the reception, and there wasn't any. I actually spoke to a cast member as well, and they confirmed that there's nothing really in there at the moment. He did say though that might change. I am filming this on the 29th of September 2022, so it's not obviously officially even October yet, let alone Halloween time, and Disneyland Paris isn't all that big on Halloween, which is why I'm so excited to see even just these decorations here, because normally they don't tend to celebrate too much, you know. The parks do, but it's not as big of a thing for them to actually do anything about them in the hotels. But this is really cool. Before we go to our next hotel though, I thought I'd answer some of your questions, so I'm just going to go on that little bench over there, sit down, and yeah, just answer some questions. We have a question from M's Neverland Life. And the question is, if you could only go to one Disney park for the rest of your life, which one would it be? For me, it would definitely 100% be Disneyland Paris Park, so the main park in Disneyland Paris. It's because, for me, nostalgic reasons really more than anything. It's the one that I grew up going to, it's the one that my family took me to when I was younger, and obviously I've been to this one the most as well. So it really does in some weird ways feel like home. I don't want it to be cheesy, and I'm not trying to be this like cringy person, oh, it feels like home. No, but just because I've been here a lot and I've got a lot of memories here, it just feels nice, you know. Being in Disneyland Park in Disneyland Paris feels nice and relaxing to me. I enjoy being there, I feel safe there, and so because of that I couldn't imagine not being able to come to that park, you know, in the future. But good question, to be honest. I feel like this is the best way to figure out what your favorite Disney park is, to kind of make it really serious and be like, oh, if you could only go to one Disney park, which one would you choose if you weren't allowed to go to the other ones? And for me, it's always been Disneyland Paris. I feel like it's got everything that you need. Amazing rides, you know, great attractions, great shows. I feel like Disneyland Paris shows, the kind of theatrical shows that they have in the parks, are so underrated and so good, and I honestly don't see myself ever getting tired of it. It's a big privilege to be able to come to Disneyland Paris so often, but I truly love, you know, the parks, especially like I said, the main park, which is the one that I would choose to be able to come to only if I had to choose between all the different parks. But I do love all the Disney parks, honestly. The ones that I've been to, they've all been great. The only resort that I've not been to is Tokyo Disneyland, which I still hope to go one day, but I do love love them all, and I feel really lucky that I've been able to visit most of them, and that I hopefully will be able to go again. I'm hoping to visit some of the more international parks again next year, so in 2023 expect some more international Disney parks vlogs, hopefully, fingers crossed. I mean, there'll still be some Disneyland Paris videos, don't you worry, but I am planning to do some more international travel in terms of Disney parks next year. But thank you so much for your question. Speaking of the international parks, AbbyGain.x asks, what's one attraction you would love to bring to the Paris park from the Florida park? That's a very good question, and there are quite a few attractions from Florida that I would love to see in Disneyland Paris. The main one would probably be Flight of Passage in Animal Kingdom. I think that's an incredible ride, and I miss it. Every time I get to go to Florida, it's like my #1 ride that I'm most excited to go on. I think it's a magical attraction. It's a magical experience in my opinion, and I don't think Disneyland Paris has anything similar to it at the moment, because in Florida they also have Soarin', which is similar to Flight of Passage, but Disneyland Paris lacks an attraction similar to that, one that you can kind of go there and just feel like you're flying. So honestly, I'd be happy even if they brought Soarin' over to Paris. Just any attraction that is like a family friendly attraction that anyone can, you know, enjoy, but that also just makes you feel relaxed and like you're flying. Oh my god, Flight of Passage is just an excellent ride. Let me know if you've been on it and what would you bring. I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. But with that, we are going to slowly but surely make our way out of Santa Fe Hotel and head over across the river to Hotel Cheyenne, which is one of my favorite hotels here. Hopefully throughout this vlog I'll be able to show you a little bit what it's like to kind of get between the hotels as well, because a lot of you ask me, you know, to show you the walk from Santa Fe and Cheyenne to the parks, and I have kind of done so in some of my hotel tours, but I feel like a lot of you still want some more footage from that, so hopefully we'll see some of that. I'm, you know, taking this video very chilled, more chill than I normally do. The sky's looking pretty cute, isn't it? I'm not sure how well it's coming across on camera, but it's currently about, I want to say 7 p.m. in the evening, so the sun's about to set in the next half hour or so. Look just how beautiful this area is of Disneyland Paris. Honestly, it's so peaceful and calming. So that's the Santa Fe Hotel over there. We've got Hotel Cheyenne on the opposite side. We are going to get to that in a second. Ha, that's a funny sign over there. It says don't swim. There is obviously like a river or a lake down there. I can't imagine many people, I mean, to be fair, some people might, you know, try to swim down there for some reason, so it's good that they've got that sign. But yeah, there will be a bridge in a second that we're going to get to that will literally attach this Hotel Santa Fe to Cheyenne on the other side, and we're getting closer and closer to that bridge. You might even be able to see a sneak peek of it over there, but I just wanted to show you this shot right here. I just think it's so lovely. You can see Panorama Magique all the way down there in the distance, and a bit of the Cheyenne Hotel as well on the other side. Loads of lovely trees, and just I mean, I love it. This view is amazing to me. And here we have it. This is the bridge over here, the bridge that connects Santa Fe Hotel to Hotel Cheyenne on the other side. There are a couple of other ways that you can get from Santa Fe to the Cheyenne as well, but I think this is the most beautiful way because look at that. Some lovely scenic views on both sides, and I mean, again, filming this in autumn just means so many beautiful colors. The trees obviously changing colors, the autumnal colors, the oranges, etc. It's just very pretty. I haven't actually been to the Cheyenne in quite a while now. I feel like it's almost been a year since I last visited the Cheyenne or even stayed there. I think it was probably October of 2021 when I was last here, and it's one of my favorite hotels here. Honestly, it's such good theming. I do of course have full hotel tours of all the Disneyland Paris resorts, so if you want to check those out after you finish watching this video, feel free to do so. Honestly, look at all these beautiful colors. The colors of the trees, not the colors of the wind for once, but the colors of the trees. They are lovely, aren't they? Also, look at all these teepees here. The theming, as I said, at Disney's Hotel Cheyenne is wonderful. One of my absolute favorites, I think, close to Newport Bay. Anyway, here we are in the center of Disney's Hotel Cheyenne with all the different colored blocks around us. They all have a different name as well. It's really cool. And then that little bank thing behind me, that is actually a Starbucks. They opened the Starbucks up a few years ago, which has now made this hotel one of the best ones in terms of obviously access to things like Starbucks and quick service food, because none of the hotels here have quick service options. And Hotel Cheyenne is actually also one of my favorites in terms of the decorations that they put up normally for Halloween. I mean, look at that. Look at those up, you know, little pumpkin heads up there in front of the Starbucks. They look adorable. I love it. And then of course up there at the main entrance of Disney's Hotel Cheyenne, you've got another set of fun pumpkin heads. You know, they're all wearing kind of cowboy hats as well by the looks of it, which is cool. It goes very well again with the theming of Disney's Hotel Cheyenne. Also, I've just noticed some beautiful Halloween garlands up there too, and lanterns. Let's have a look at them. Now these, I believe they're not unique to Disney's Hotel Cheyenne. They do tend to normally put these up at most of the hotels, and I feel like Santa Fe even might eventually get them. But they are very, very pretty nonetheless, and they go really well with the pumpkin heads up above them. Here's a better look at the front facade of Hotel Cheyenne with the Halloween decorations above them. I love it. I think it's quite subtle. It's not over the top. I feel like they could have probably done more actually with the whole cowboy theme, but it is still cute that all the pumpkin scarecrows, if you like, are wearing things that look like cowboy hats anyway. So yeah, there you go. Quite cute. Before we go to our next hotel, which is going to be Sequoia Lodge, I feel like it's time to sit down for a little bit, maybe find a bench and answer a couple of more of your questions. The next question is by Claire OB82, and she asks, if you could only eat at one Disneyland Paris restaurant for the rest of your life, which one? These questions are quite hard, honestly. Good questions though, thank you, Claire. So if I could only eat at one Disneyland Paris restaurant, oh my god, there are so many that I really do enjoy. I do like Waltz, and I know you've only asked for one, and I'm going to give you one answer eventually, but I'm trying to go through the restaurants that I really love in my head. So Chez Remy I enjoy, although I haven't been in it in a while. I haven't eaten there for a while. Waltz is good. Manhattan is a new favorite of mine at Disney's Hotel New York Art of Marvel after refurbishment. Lord have legit mercy, I don't really know. This is hard. I think I'm going to have to go for Waltz, just because I really enjoy the setting of Waltz, you know, just the fact that it's on Main Street USA and you get nice views of Main Street if you're lucky and have like a window table. I think that alone makes it good for me. So even if the food might not always be phenomenal, although personally I've always been happy with my food at Waltz. I understand for some people the food there, the menu there might not be to their taste, but for me I love the food there. I've eaten there maybe like 5 times throughout my life, and once ever since they changed the menu and brought the price down actually a little bit as well, and it's always been nice. I think it's good service there, and the location I love. I also enjoy just looking at kind of old photos of Walt Disney and, you know, their family, and also just the theming of Waltz as well, the different rooms, how they're themed to the different lands in Disneyland Park. I think that just makes it really, really cute for me, so maybe that. We have another really good question here, and this one's by Robin C. Murphy 1, and they ask, if you could create a new land in Disney, what would it be and why? Now, a friend and I were actually talking about this the other day. I think it's a crime that there's no representation for the Hunchback of Notre Dame here in Disneyland Paris, considering that movie, that film is literally set in France and Paris really, with the Notre Dame Cathedral. It makes me so sad that for some weird reason they don't have anything to do with Hunchback of Notre Dame in the parks, and I kind of understand it because I feel like the time for it has passed, and it's not like the most popular of films. Hunchback is one of my absolute favorites though, and it was obviously very big in the 90s when it came out, and actually back then, I think I want to say 1994 or 1995 or somewhere around the mid-90s era, Disneyland Paris actually celebrated their 5th birthday by turning the castle, the Disneyland Paris castle, into like a Festival of Fools vibe. And if I can find some photos, I will insert them here. I actually came to visit. Obviously I didn't come myself, my family brought me here with my brother to visit during that time, doing the Hunchback of Notre Dame Festival of Fools celebrations. They also had a parade to do with the Hunchback, and it was just amazing. I really do think it was an amazing way to celebrate not only just the film, but kind of French culture and the history of the country too. In some ways I feel like Disneyland Paris definitely needs something to do with Hunchback of Notre Dame. I don't think it will ever happen because, like I said, unfortunately not the most popular of films, although I feel like a lot of people my age probably do enjoy it. A lot of people say it's underrated, and I agree. But yeah, if I could bring any kind of land to Disneyland Paris, I would have a Hunchback of Notre Dame land, and I would have their main kind of ride in it be a boat ride, because I love boat rides, something similar to Pirates or It's a Small World, that kind of vibe, like one of the ones that are quite long as well, so if you queue too long for them, you're not going to be too bothered. And the boat ride would kind of take you through the Festival of the Fools, basically, topsy-turvy. That would be the main theme song. I know that's like not everyone's favorite song from Hunchback, and it's not mine either. There are definitely better songs in there, but I feel like it's such a great fun song, and it could work really well with a boat ride that kind of sees a lot of fun different scenes and animatronics from the Festival of the Fools doing some cool weird tricks, etc. I don't know, let me know how you feel about this. I do think, like I said, that it is a crime that they don't have any representation for Hunchback of Notre Dame in the parks, unfortunately. It is slowly slowly but surely getting darker now. But before we go to our next hotel, I also wanted to show you this little sign here that says walkway to Disneyland Park, Walt Disney Studios and Disney Village. So if you're ever confused and staying at the Cheyenne, just look for these signs or ask a cast member. They'll be happy to help you and direct you to the exact location of where you need to go if you want to walk to the parks rather than get the shuttle bus. Look at all these blocks at the Cheyenne. They make me so happy. I love how, you know, just colourful they are, and it almost feels like you really have gone back in time in like a Wild West era. It's so cool. And yeah, I'm basically currently just walking straight to that area by the tree, which is where it would lead us to the walkway to the parks. And there's a little sneak peek of Panorama Magic again. It's so nice to see Panorama Magic up, you know, up above constantly actually, because the weather's been quite nice in the past few months. Anyway, we are officially on the pathway now that is going to take us straight to Disney Village, and along this pathway we're also going to go past Sequoia Lodge Hotel, which is why it's going to be the next one that we take a look at and have a look at the Halloween decorations. You can already even see some of the cabins from Sequoia Lodge on the other side, which is very cute. Sequoia Lodge is quite a big hotel actually, but this just goes to show how near each other they are. So we just walked from that pathway over there. Those are some of the buildings from Hotel Cheyenne. On the right you will see Santa Fe Hotel, and already we've got some of the buildings from Sequoia Lodge as well. Also, again, I just have to show you these trees with their beautiful autumnal colors with the reds and the oranges and the greens. Ah, oh, so stunning. I'm literally just going to show you some nature for the next couple of minutes probably. Look at this. It's a lovely, beautiful walk. No matter when you're here, whether it's winter months or autumn like I am right now, or spring or summer, it's always going to be a nice and quite short walk as well, and there's loads of nature to look at on your way to the parks too. I'm looking forward to getting to Sequoia Lodge actually, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, last night they installed a new Halloween decoration either outside or inside their hotel that is very kind of in theme with Sequoia Lodge, kind of the Bambi nature vibes of it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what it's like in person. Before I see that though, some more beautiful autumnal nature for you here. Oh my god, I love this so much. Autumn's my favorite season, you know. I think it is anyway. Autumn and spring, I kind of like the changing seasons, the ones that are in between the extremes, if that makes sense. Even though I'm a summer girl, I was born in summer, and apparently there's this theory that most people's favorite season is a season that they were born in, but for me, absolutely not. I like summer, it's fine, it's all right, but I'm not the biggest fan of the heat, and I feel like it's a bit overrated. So yeah, autumn is my favorite time. I love it. And we are getting closer and closer to Sequoia Lodge now, at least the main building of it. Like I said, we've already walked past a few of the little cabins, because Sequoia Lodge is quite a big hotel, and they do have some cabins or lodges if you like, but they also have a main building, which is the one that I'm interested in right now. I think that's where we're going to find the Halloween decorations. And here we are. That's the main building of Sequoia Lodge. That's where you would need to go to if you want to go to the reception and check in. It's the main area, and I've already found the little pumpkin that they've got here, the Halloween decoration that is absolutely new, completely new for 2022 here at Disney Sequoia Lodge Hotel. And yeah, as I remembered correctly, it's very much Bambi themed. So we've got Bambi, Thumper and Flower on this giant pumpkin, and it's placed in a pretty cool prime location as well, right at the entrance here. So there you go, this is a nice shot here. You can see they're kind of very iconic trees surrounding Sequoia Lodge here, and then the building itself, the brown, the wooden vibes, and then here you've got this huge pumpkin. I want to say this is subtle, but it's not. It definitely isn't. I mean, it looks like that's the only kind of main Halloween decoration that they actually have going on as well at Sequoia Lodge. So I guess it's one of those things where if you're not going to do too many decorations, you might as well make sure that the one decoration that you do have is a big and major one, and I definitely think that this one is. Let me know in the comments what you think though. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Here's another look at the front entrance of Disney Sequoia Lodge Hotel in Disneyland Paris, with that giant pumpkin in the middle and obviously all the trees around it as well. I really like it. I think it's lovely. I mean, Sequoia Lodge is definitely not one of my favorite hotels here, but I can see the appeal of it, and I do enjoy the very kind of calm nature, relaxing vibes of it. I think it's a perfect hotel to stay at in the autumn and winter months especially. But I am gonna sit here for a while, look at the Disney lake here as well. Beautiful. This time of evening is one of my favorite times in any Disney park or any Disney resort. So the next question is, I believe, again from Claro B82, and I thought I would answer this because it's appropriate with the place that I am right now, Sequoia Lodge Hotel. So Claro B asks, how are you now after your loss? My granddad has been told he has cancer. Now firstly, Claro B, I'm really sorry to hear that, and I wish your granddad the best of luck. Hopefully he'll come through and he'll be okay, but I know how difficult that is. With my granddad, he didn't even have any illnesses. He just passed away very very, very randomly. Like his health deteriorated within about 3 or 4 weeks so suddenly, and that made it more of a shock in some ways. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate it. Firstly, I really, really do appreciate the fact that you've asked me about my granddad. It's only been maybe about 5 months or so. It's not even been half a year since I lost my granddad. And if you didn't know, if you haven't checked out some of my vlogs from a few months ago, I was actually staying at this hotel, Disney Sequoia Lodge Hotel, back in April, when I heard the news that my granddad's health had gone very, very bad and he had to go back to the hospital, even though prior to that all the doctors were telling us that he's going to be okay, he's fine, and they'd released him. He had a very difficult last few weeks of his life, which I think made the whole thing very, very hard and harder for all of us, not just him obviously, but the family as well. But for me now, it's one of those things where I keep thinking back to those few weeks and I just feel so guilty and upset and sad that we couldn't do more for my granddad, which apparently is a very natural way of coping with grief. So yeah, I mean, I'm definitely still grieving from time to time. It could be a very random day and suddenly out of the blue I'll start crying or something will trigger my grief, and yeah, I will feel very, very upset, and it really hurts. Definitely does hurt still. It's one of those things that I've learned that will never go away. So the grief is always there. It doesn't get better, it doesn't get worse either. It's just there, and you kind of learn to cope with it. And it's one of those weird things where I can never predict when it hits me. It could be in the middle of a day randomly, it could be when I'm at Disney, I could be just in the middle of doing something in the middle of a queue, and suddenly I feel just this really massive drop of, I don't know, like upset, of doom, of like, why has this happened, and just darkness. It's very sad, it really is. And I think most people unfortunately probably would have had an experience of similar experience, really, of losing somebody that they care a lot about. So yeah, honestly, Claire, I really do wish you the best, and sending you lots of love, and your granddad as well. Thank you so much for asking, and yeah, it means a lot to me. And I want to send some love to all of you, any of you who are watching this video right now and who might be struggling with something, whether it's, you know, grief or any other thing in your life. Loads of love from me. I hope that things get better for you. Trying to make this a little bit more light-hearted now. Gemma Tilling, I want to say, I hope I pronounced your name right. Gemma asks, you may have already answered, but do you prefer Halloween or Christmas at DLP? Now, Christmas is definitely my favorite. I think Christmas would actually probably be my favorite time of year to visit Disneyland Paris, full stop. I absolutely love Christmas time. I think Disneyland Paris really does it well. The fact that it gets cold as well, I think goes so well with just the vibe, the atmosphere as Christmas. The castle looks beautiful, Main Street USA looks beautiful. They have some fake snow on Main Street from time to time. So yeah, I just generally prefer Christmas over Halloween, not even with Disney, just generally. Having said that though, Halloween at Disneyland Paris is also absolutely awesome. They do so many cool things, more so sometimes I would say actually than the US parks, especially like Florida. Florida might do a lot of fun Halloween stuff, but they're all paid. Like, you have to pay extra, you have to go to one of the Halloween parties if you want to get your Halloween fix in Florida. Whereas in Disneyland Paris, you get to see some fun Halloween stuff for free, as in with your entry free to the parks. You don't have to pay on top of what you've paid to actually come to the parks to experience Halloween. They've got some shows for Halloween, some meet and greets with the villains, like a cavalcade comes through as well. So yeah, Halloween at Disneyland Paris is definitely amazing, but I personally just prefer the atmosphere, the vibe of Christmas time. Elian_Devas asks, what is your most precious memory about Disney and about the parks? That is a very good question, but again, a difficult one. Honestly, these questions are difficult, but I appreciate you for asking them. So, most precious memory, I mean, most of my childhood memories that I have of Disneyland Paris will always be extremely special to me because, you know, it's my childhood, and the time that I got to spend here with my family was precious, and it's the kind of memory that can't really be replicated again. So I really do cherish my childhood memories here at Disneyland Paris, all of them. I mean, I was lucky that I got to visit quite a few times with my family, and that's because we were living really close to the park, so it wasn't too difficult for my dad to drive us here. Yeah, putting my childhood memories of Disneyland Paris aside, in terms of my adult Disney trips, one particular one that always comes to mind is my 2016 trip. I think it was March of 2016, and I do have a vlog of that as well on my channel. I came here with 6 of my friends, so it was a big group of us, 7 of us, and just our entrance to Disneyland Park when we first got here, we didn't time it ourselves, it was completely natural, but for some reason by the time we actually got to the parks, it was in time with the beginning of the parade that they had there back then for the Easter parade. It was the hop 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 all day in a sunny bunny land. It was more of a cavalcade, to be fair, but it was such a good song and such an amazing entry to the park, so I'll never forget that particular entrance to the park. And it was such a great trip overall as well with my friends there. It was nice to kind of experience a big group trip, and we all had a great time. So watch that vlog if you want. It's from what, like 5-6 years ago now, but it is there if you want to check it out. There really are so many though, so many precious and special memories over the years that I've, you know, made here in Disneyland Paris. So it is definitely a very difficult question to answer. And whilst we're at it, I just wanted to say thank you so much for all the questions that you've asked me. I've had so many here, as you can see, like literally so many questions here, and unfortunately there's no way I can answer all of them. There's just too many to answer in one video, otherwise it's going to be like probably 5 hours long, because I do tend to ramble a lot as well, sorry. But I do want to answer one more question whilst we're here in front of Sequoia Lodge and that fun pumpkin behind us. This one is by Layla_Leah number 10, and they ask, what's the most meaningful Disney song you've ever heard? Good question, Layla, and for me that is without a doubt Colors of the Wind from Pocahontas. I genuinely feel like the lyrics to that song should be forced upon everyone. I feel like if every human being in the world listened to the lyrics of Colors of the Wind and tried to live their lives by those lyrics, the world would be a much better place, honestly. Because I mean, that song is all about equality, about kindness to nature, to other human beings, about not judging other people if they don't look like you, if they're of a different race, of a different background, to treat them as if they're your own people, really. And I love that song so much. It's my #1 favorite Disney song of all time, and probably actually in my top favorite songs of all time as well, even when it comes to non-Disney songs. I love it that much. But we are done now with the questions at this hotel. We are going to do a few more in the other hotels that we still have left. We've got the New York hotel on that side, and it looks so pretty now that, you know, it's getting darker and the lights are lit up as well. But we still got one hotel to get to before we get to the New York, and that is of course the Newport Bay Hotel, which also looks absolutely gorgeous in the dark. I mean, look at her. Look at her. This hotel is definitely one of my favorites here in Disneyland Paris. The theming is wonderful. I love the exterior of it, the facade of it. And if you didn't know, the kind of people, the designers of this hotel, the people that made it, were the same people that built Beach Club and Yacht Club over at Florida's Disney World. So I always find it interesting when the Disney World regulars, like the people that mainly go to Disney World rather than Disneyland Paris, when they visit Disneyland Paris, Newport Bay ends up being their favorite hotel, even just from when they visited. I love it. I watched a lot of vlogs sometimes when I'm bored, like you probably are watching my vlog right now, and it means a lot to me, by the way. If you're watching this vlog, thank you so much. It really does mean a lot to me that you take some time out of your day to watch my videos right now. But yeah, when I watch other people's vlogs, I sometimes like to watch like first visits to Disneyland Paris. It's some of my favorite types of vlogs to watch, just to see what people think of Disneyland Paris, people who don't get to come here often, sometimes Americans, sometimes other British people who, like I said, normally go to Disney World rather than Paris. And for the most part, most of them seem to love Newport Bay, and I think it's because it's very similar to the resorts over in Walt Disney World. Can you see the moon up there, by the way? It looks so cute. It's not even like a half moon. I don't really know how you would describe that, but it looks stunning with the kind of sun setting as well. And I can see why people love Newport Bay, because it does look beautiful from the outside and inside too. And here we are now, right in front of Disney's Newport Bay Club Hotel at Disneyland Paris. You can see the sign over here, and just behind the sign I spot a pumpkin Mickey, which again I feel like might be quite new for here. Actually, I think normally they use that pumpkin maybe at the entrance of Disneyland Park for Halloween, but this year with it being the 30th anniversary, they haven't actually changed the entrance from the 30th stuff. But look at that, it looks so cute, just casually chilling in there in the middle of all the plants and the trees. And I think if we get closer as well, there will be some minor decorations around the area too. There you go, up there, as you can see, they do have a couple of kind of subtle Halloween decorations, quite similar to the ones at the Cheyenne, actually, I would say. So you can see these little pumpkin heads, as well as the little leaves that they've got going on as well on the lining of that building. But the pumpkin heads are just generic pumpkin heads this time round. So yeah, unfortunately none of them seem to be themed to the Newport Bay Club Hotel. It would have been cool if maybe some of them were like sailor pumpkins. That would have been really fun to see. But nonetheless, they do all look pretty cool, to be fair. And again, this is the entrance, and they have a couple of Mickey pumpkin heads right on the sides of the main entrance to the hotel too. They do look quite adorable, don't they, actually? I love this hotel so much. But before we move on to our next and last hotel, which is New York Hotel, I've got a couple of more questions to answer, so let's find a little bench, maybe this one here. This seems to be quite a lovely bench to sit at. We've got a fun Halloweeny question from Amy Ritchie, and they ask, who's your favorite Disney villain? Now, generally speaking, I'm not the biggest fan of Disney villains. I enjoy meeting them in the parks. They can be a lot of fun. I actually just met the Evil Queen yesterday and then Maleficent today. You'll see them in the vlogs. You probably might have already even seen them, and they were so much fun to interact with. But in terms of my favorite villains, I think one of the best Disney villains is probably Frollo from Hunchback of Notre Dame. And I don't know if it's because I'm just biased and I love that film so much, but I genuinely do think that Frollo is just a very well developed character in terms of villains. He is genuinely evil, and I'm not saying evil is good, but you're asking who my favorite villain is, and I think, yeah, Frollo is up there. He's terrifying, and when you meet him in the parks, he's also terrifying, and he's just an evil man. Like, I don't know, let me know in the comments what you think. I feel like some of the Disney villains like Gaston or Captain Hook or even Scar from The Lion King, they have an element of fun to them. So whilst they are definitely evil and they can be scary at times, they're also just funny, so you can like laugh at them. Whereas with Frollo, he's just evil. Like, he's just very, very menacing, and I don't really see any fun side to him. So I don't know, because of that, it makes him a better villain in a sense, right? Let me know what you think though. I'd love to hear your opinions in the comments down below. Now the next question is from a different Claire 0.2205, and they ask, would you rather castle show or proper night parade like Paint the Night? Now again, an amazing question here, Claire, thank you for asking. And I think I just love nighttime parades so much. I miss the Main Street Electrical Parade a lot, and if you haven't noticed, I'm currently actually wearing Main Street Electrical ears right now. They were released not long ago for the 50th anniversary of the parade. Don't get me wrong, I love nighttime fireworks shows and Dreams, especially Disney Dreams that they used to have here in Disneyland Paris up until 2017. One of my favorite nighttime shows ever, and I would rather that over any other nighttime parade. I think actually no, the Main Street Electrical Parade is one of my, I would say it's my favorite Disney hotel of all time. I love it so much. The whole music of like, oh, it brings me so much joy. I thought I wished I would bring it back to Disneyland Paris. I know that I recently went back to California's Disneyland Park for a while with some new floats, and I did watch some videos of it. It looked amazing. But yeah, I feel like Disneyland Paris could do with a new nighttime show. I would love for them to bring Paint the Night over to Disneyland Paris. That would be cool because they've never had it, and I was very lucky to see Paint the Night in its original Disney park, which was actually Hong Kong Disneyland. A lot of people seem to think that Paint the Night started in Disneyland California, but as far as I'm aware, it actually started in Hong Kong Disneyland, and then they took it from there to Disneyland California. And yeah, I love Paint the Night. That would be amazing. That would do either that or Electrical Parade or just something else entirely. Nighttime parades at Disney are some of the best things ever. I really miss them. I feel like Disneyland Paris. Hopefully for the 35th anniversary, because we didn't obviously get anything for the 30th in terms of parades. Let's be wishful for the 35th anniversary. We'll see. It's funny actually, I just noticed that vintage_vixen30 asks, do you miss the Electrical Parade? I obviously just spent the last, I don't know, 2-3 minutes talking about how much I love the Electrical Parade, and I'm wearing the ears now. So yeah, I do miss it, but I just found it funny that I've got so many questions, so sometimes I don't see all of them, but I love that you asked that about the Electrical Parade. I do miss it, I really do. Now the next few questions are all about YouTube, so I'm gonna read them out. I think there's about 2 or 3 of them, and I'm gonna ask them in a second, put them all together. So ARW Pirate asks, is this your hobby or your job? We've also got a question from Peanuthead9151. What an amazing username. And they ask, what do you do for work? I love your videos and you make me smile. Firstly, thank you so much for that. And we're going to get to your question in a second because there's one more person who asked about this. And that is from Disney Godmother, Liz. Shout out to Liz. She makes some videos herself as well. Disney Godmother asks, do you see your trips as holidays or work or both? And I think that's an amazing question, and one that is quite tricky to answer actually. I'm going to stand up and answer that and kind of slowly but surely make my way towards our last hotel because I just looked at the time. It's getting quite late. But yeah, so how I see these trips, I feel like with the Disneyland Paris trips, definitely work for the most part. If I'm here on my own, 99% of the time I treat it as work, and I would consider it work as well because it really is work. I don't come to Disneyland Paris for fun. Now don't get me wrong, I have a lot of fun filming these vlogs, but like I said, for the most part it's for work. So normally when I come on a trip here, before before I come, I have a full list of like video ideas and things that I want to film whilst I'm here. I often plan my days like hour by hour, more or less, so that I can make the most of my trips as well and film as many vlogs as I can. So a lot of you might not realize this, but I often might change outfits throughout the day, because in one day I might film 5 or 6 different videos. So it's very go 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 when I'm here, and I feel like it has to be at this stage, you know. I'm very lucky that I do this as a job at the moment, and it's only been for the past couple of years, I want to say, that YouTube has become my job. It's giving me enough income for it to be considered a job, and I'm so lucky for this. So again, thank you so much for watching these videos. It makes me so happy and proud to be able to do something that I've loved for so long as a job. Like, I never thought this would happen. I've been doing YouTube videos since I was at university, since 2010. Even on this channel that you're watching right now, you can go back to like my oldest videos. They're from about 12 years ago, and back then you couldn't even monetize YouTube. Like, monetization or making money from YouTube was not even a thing, but I still posted quite a lot because I've always enjoyed video editing. Even as a child, I used to film all the time and try and edit as well with like really old school softwares. I've done like a degree in editing as well. I did a degree, a course in documentary making in 2015, and like I said, I've always been really fascinated by video making, documentary making. Editing especially is like one of my favorite things. So the fact that I can combine that with my love for Disney and then have that be my job is just incredible. And once again, thank you so much for making this possible for me. I'm very aware that it's not going to be a long-term thing, so don't you worry, I'm making the most of it whilst I can. Basically, it's like I said, it's only been the past couple of years that I've been able to do this more or less full-time, and even so, it's not always my only source of income. Sometimes I do like the odd job there and then as well, mostly freelance work and mostly video editing. Although in the past few months, as I want to say for the best part of 2022, I've been very lucky that I've not needed to do that. So again, that's just a big thanks to you guys again. But to go back to the question of whether I see these Disneyland Paris trips as work or holidays, I think maybe a combination of both. So like maybe 90% work and 10% holiday, if you like. I think the best way to describe it is that these trips are work that also just happen to be quite fun, you know. But that doesn't mean that it's not tiring either. Like I said, I normally tend to film about 5 or 6 different videos per day when I'm here. So when you see the videos, it might look like I'm always here, and I do obviously, you know, visit quite often, you know, normally about once every month if I can. But I'm sure you can imagine that it can get tiring just constantly filming video after video and moving around the resorts constantly as well. I mean, let's be real, a person coming to Disneyland Paris on a holiday is probably not going to spend their time going over a resort for like 2 hours filming a resort tour, or going around the shops in Disneyland Paris for like an hour each filming all the merchandise items in detail. That's not what a holiday is really, is it? So I think when you look at it that way, it makes it very difficult to look at these trips as holidays, because it is mainly work, it is mainly filming and going from place to place to try and get the best vlogs out for you guys. And when I say for you guys, I obviously also mean for myself. Like, let's be real, you guys watching the video supports me, and then it enables me to come back to Disneyland Paris more often and do some more videos, and it's something that I genuinely enjoy. Like I said, I know it's not going to be a long-term thing. I don't necessarily want it to be a long-term thing either. I don't think I can see myself coming to Disneyland Paris constantly all the time for the rest of my life at all. But for now, I'm enjoying it. I'm absolutely loving it, and I'm making the most of it. It means so much to me to be able to do this. I sometimes feel like I'm still in a dream. Like, I don't understand how this happened to me, because I've been doing YouTube videos for so long, and I never thought this was going to be my life, and I never wanted it to be my life either. It just kind of happened. And there's a little quote that I saw a few years ago online about how if the job that you want doesn't exist yet, create it. And I feel like without meaning to, I've created my ideal job for myself, and it's because of obviously the rise of social media and the internet and vloggers and influencers, if you like, in the past few years. And this was something that I never would have dreamed of. I mean, I went to university, studied biomedical sciences, and then after that I did a postgraduate degree in journalism, which I guess in some ways journalism and video editing, you know, what I do here, I suppose in some ways can be known as reporting. But yeah, it's not at all the path that I thought I was going to take, and I hope you understand how grateful I am. Basically, it means the world to me that I get to do this, and I'm very aware that it's probably not going to last forever. Like I said, I don't particularly think I want it to last forever. Look at the panoramic balloon in front of us coming down slowly but surely. What is the time? It's 20:35, so 8:35 p.m. Like I said, it's getting quite late. But yeah, I hope that answered your question, and that's why I kind of come to Disneyland Paris so often as well. I don't want any of you to feel jealous of the fact that I get to visit so often, because it's not like I'm having having a holiday every month. Like I said, if I was having a holiday, I would come to Disneyland Paris and be like, oh, I fancy going on this ride now, and now I fancy eating this food item or this snack and going to this restaurant. But I don't do that at all. I kind of force myself to do videos and experiences that you guys would be interested in, new things. You know, there might be times when, for instance, at the food festival, the Rendezvous Gourmand of 2022, there were so many options, so many foods that I tried that I absolutely loved, and I never got to try them again. And the food festival is finishing in like a week's time. Even though I come so often, I feel like it would be a disservice to you guys if I just constantly go and do the same thing every single time, if I just eat the exact same food or go on the same rides. You know, what would be the point of doing these vlogs then? Do you know what I mean? I feel like that would in some ways be disrespectful to you guys who watch my videos and support me. Like, I don't want to bore you guys with content, so then I force myself to do different things and film videos that might be interesting to you guys, even if they might not be interesting to me. Does that make sense? I hope it does. And I think, again, that's why you can't really call this a holiday, because a holiday is doing things that you want to do. Like, if I had my own way, if I was coming on holiday, I would probably eat at Chez Remy or Waltz or Manhattan restaurant every single time. I'd probably go to Funtella Oro every single time, maybe just ride It's a Small World over and over again, do Pirates, Big Thunder Mountain, and then kind of be done with it, meet characters, that's it as well. But I want these videos to actually be informative to you. I want to kind of bring you some kind of value, because this is my job now, so I take my job seriously, you know. I feel like you need to be serious about any kind of job that you have, even if your job does involve you coming to Disney parks constantly. Like, again, oh, it blows my mind that I get to do this. And actually, whilst we're talking about this, when I do come to Disneyland Paris with friends, for instance, then those are holidays for sure. Like, if I come with a friend for a couple of days, I treat that as a holiday. You know, I might still vlog it, but vlogging a holiday, as in like just vlogging your day-to-day life and doing whatever you want and just filming it, is easy. It's so easy. Anybody who gets to just vlog their days is doing one of the most easiest jobs out there. I truly believe that, because I've done it myself, and compared to the other kind of videos that I do, they're so much easier, because all you have to do is just pick up a camera and be like, oh, this is what I'm doing now. Whereas if you're actually planning videos and having themes for them, it involves a lot more work, and it involves you doing things that you might not necessarily want to do. Having said all this, that's obviously really only with Disneyland Paris. If I go to any of the international Disney parks like Walt Disney World in Florida, California, or when I went to Hong Kong a few years ago, those are obviously holidays. They're holidays, but because I love you guys so much and I know this is my job. Oh, hello. Yeah, there you go. It's so fun vlogging, honestly. Yeah, because obviously I have this channel and I vlog as a job at the moment. It sounds wild saying that. Then obviously when I go to the international parks, I will still film, but in a different way. Like, I'll probably just film my days, you know. That's what I've done in the past as well. I've done long vlogs of a whole holiday, just kind of doing whatever I want and filming it kind of thing, which a lot of you actually prefer that. I remember a few years ago when I decided to change the style of my content, so many of you guys were upset and wanted me to keep my Disneyland Paris vlogs in the same format that they used to be. But I was bored of doing that myself, so I was thinking, if I'm bored, how are the audience not going to be bored by me just constantly filming the same old stuff? And I'm so glad I made the change. Like I said, I got so many, like, a lot of criticism about it initially. A lot of people were like, oh my god, Sam, bring back the traditional vlogs. But this is what has actually made my channel now, and it means so much more to me when somebody comes to me and says, because of your Disneyland Paris videos, I got to experience an amazing trip at Disneyland Paris. You know, your videos helped me plan my trip. Your videos were very informative, things like that. Because before that, my vlogs were just me having fun, and I don't know, like, those can be fun too, don't get me wrong, and I enjoyed filming them back in the days. But at the time, YouTube wasn't my main kind of source of income. I was making money from it sometimes, but it definitely wasn't my main source of income. And I don't know, I feel like this is the best part for me at the moment. And with that, we are now in front of Disney's Hotel New York, which is a wonderful hotel, the Art of Marvel, the most recently renovated one. This literally only reopened last year in June of 2021, and it is amazing. It's such an amazing hotel. Again, I do have a full tour of this hotel as well if you want to check it out. Look at it. Look at the amazing exterior of Disney's Hotel New York, the Art of Marvel. And in terms of Halloween decorations, there's really only one major thing here in front of the hotel, and you can kind of see it. It's basically a pumpkin, again, very similar to Sequoia Lodge's pumpkin, but this one, as you can tell, is actually Spider Man, and I absolutely love it. I think it's very well located. Again, kids love it. Earlier I saw quite a few people just playing around it, taking photos with it, and I've taken some photos with it as well, so check out my Instagram if you want to see what they're like. But there you go, here's a closer look at this giant pumpkin Spider Man situation. renovation. I don't know, I think they've done a cool job with the decorations this year. This is really kind of the biggest decorations theming they've done in Disneyland Paris in terms of their resorts in the past few years anyway. So it's awesome to see, and the actual hotel as well, look at it. Absolute dream of a hotel, really, really nice. So there we have it, our final resort and our final Halloween decorations in Disneyland Paris's hotels over here. But of course, before we leave the area outside Disney's Hotel New York as well, I'm going to find myself a little bench. This area is actually really nice. This is meant to be Central Park, by the way, this area of grass. It used to be a patinage place. How do you call patinage in English? Ice skating, that's the one. They used to have a full-on ice rink here before the renovations happened, and it looked gorgeous, especially in the winter months. I never actually got to ice skate on it, unfortunately, but yeah, after the renovations they decided to change it into just like an area of greenery and call it Central Park because it's Hotel New York. I have now sat on one of these not so comfortable chairs, to be fair. They're not actually that great, but I do have a wonderful view of the hotel and this little green area, and on my right you can see Lake Disney and Newport Bay on the other side. Let's answer a few more questions, shall we? So Little Shoes in Spain asks, how are you feeling? Could you solve your scary heart situation with your doctor? Lots of love. Now, firstly, thank you so much for asking about my heart situation. So if you didn't, watch the videos, when I was here a few months ago, something really scary happened to me. It was very, very hot. We were in the middle of a heat wave here in Disneyland Paris, and I had to actually go to hospital. It was very scary. I'm going to talk about it in detail in a video in the future if you're interested, but in short, I am okay. Thankfully, I am okay. I did have to wait about a month and a half to actually see a heart specialist, and they said they did all the checks that they could, and they think that it should have been a one-off. Basically, my heart is doing okay, it's all fine, there aren't any indications of that happening again, but I do obviously have to be careful with the heat and making sure that I'm hydrated enough. So thankfully things seem to be okay, and I am very, very grateful for that. And it was kind of like a health scare as well, so it's kind of given me the drive to try and be more healthy generally, so that's good. I guess that's one kind of good that came out of it. But again, thank you so much for asking, and all of you actually who were sending me messages when it happened and being so supportive. It really did mean a lot, especially because I was here as a solo traveler on that trip, so it was a little bit scary, not gonna lie. The next question is from Flavia Stojkovici. I'm so sorry if I mispronounce your name, and they say, will you make a video about annual passes? Yes, so many of you have requested this, and I genuinely do apologize for not having made the video yet. It's because I'm trying to make sure that everything that I mentioned in the video is correct, and for a while there's been some rumors about things changing with annual passes in Disneyland Paris, so I didn't want to make a video only for it to like change the next month or something. So yeah, a video about annual passes in Disneyland Paris will be coming soon for sure. Lou_boho_2 asks, do you prefer the winter or summer snacks? Very good question, and I think because I generally prefer being in Disneyland Paris in the winter and autumn months when it's colder, then I would have to say I prefer the winter snacks. But then in summer, especially in the past few months of this summer of 2022, Disneyland Paris has released quite a few new cute ice creams, and even though ice cream is not one of my favorite snacks, I do enjoy cute themed ice cream, and I've got a whole video actually dedicated to the new ice creams here in Disneyland Paris, which are obviously summer snacks, so watch that video if you want to see what they're like. I really enjoyed most of them. Disney_family_Robertsons ask, how are you finding the reservation system? Lord have legit mercy. A lot of people obviously are not a big fan of the reservation system that has come to, I believe, all the Disney parks worldwide after COVID, and I'm no exception. I am not a fan of it whatsoever. I feel like life was so much easier pre-pandemic when you could just show up to the parks and you didn't have to worry about having the reservations with your annual passes, making sure that you've reserved the right date, etc. And I think my biggest issue with the reservation system for annual passes is that it's only 3 reservations at once. I think that is genuinely ridiculous, and I actually think it's very cheeky of Disney to be charging the same amount of money from people, from annual pass holders, to have these annual passes and not allowing them to actually access the parks whenever they want to. With 3 reservations, it's just impossible, especially during the busier months. There's been a couple of days here and then during my trips when I've not been able to get a reservation, so I've not actually gone into the parks, and I've spent those days filming vlogs, I don't know, in Disney Village or in other areas around Disneyland Paris. So it's definitely a big problem, and it makes it quite difficult to plan ahead, especially if you're an annual pass holder and if you're coming here on a holiday with your family, so it's a group of you and you all have annual passes. Making sure that you're all able to get the correct reservations for the duration of your stay, especially if you're planning to stay longer than 3 days. It's just a mess, it really is, and I don't know if they'll ever do it, but I really think they need to change it from at least 3 days to 5 days. Come on, I mean, even 5 days is not enough, but at least if annual pass holders were able to have 5 reservations at once, it could make life just a little little bit less stressful. So yeah, these are my thoughts in terms of whether or not the reservation system will stay. I think unfortunately it will stay forever. Like, gone are the days of just being able to show up to a park and buy a ticket, or, you know, just head into the park with your annual passes. I think COVID was an excuse for the Disney team, the company as a whole, to make a lot of, you know, not so good changes and blame it on COVID and the pandemic, and for people to just be okay with it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know most people aren't okay with it, but what can we do? At the end of the day, we're all Disney fans, so as long as people are going to the parks, Disney is going to get away with doing this and charging more for less, unfortunately, and that's just the truth of it. And that's actually why I'm hoping to go to a few more different theme parks around Europe in the upcoming months and years, because it's nice to explore other theme parks as well. And one of the next questions that I have here is from LLRP 2008, and they ask, when will you go to the Efteling again? Greetings from the Netherlands. Firstly, big shout out to the Netherlands. I have so many lovely viewers from the Netherlands, and it means a lot to me. I went to Efteling for the first time in 2019, and I do have a full vlog of that on my channel as well. For some weird reason, it's like my most viewed video on my channel. It's so strange, but I absolutely loved my visit there, and you can see it from the vlog. I was there with my friend Marie. We had so much fun. I loved the attractions. It was just an amazing theme park. It's definitely my second favorite theme park after Disneyland Paris. Like, forget about Universal Studios in Orlando, Efteling is where it's at. It's such an amazing, beautiful, magical, fantastical theme park. And to answer your question, I hopefully should be going back to Efteling, or the Efteling, if that's the correct way of saying it, in November of this year. So in about 2 months time, I'm going to be hoping to experience winter Efteling. A lot of you have told me that it's beautiful visiting during the winter months, and I will be there with my friend Marie again because she loved it just as much as I did. So yeah, look forward to vlogs from the Efteling coming up in the next couple of months. I, for one, cannot wait to go back. I miss that ride. What's the ride called? Dream Flight. It's such an incredible ride. I feel like, oh my god, I feel like everyone should go on that ride. It's just pure beauty. It's like, I think it just means literally dream flight, right? The name of the ride. And you do genuinely feel like you're in a dream. I think that if I got to experience that ride every single day, I would feel so much happier as a person. This is how good I believe the ride to be. I think with that whole section over there, I got to answer a couple of more extra questions as well. So Tessa Clarisi, thank you for your question about what my favorite theme park is apart from Disney. It'll definitely have to be Efteling. And then Sem.Demmers had asked, favorite Efteling ride, can't wait for you to go back soon. And as I said, Drumflucht, and I hope I'm pronouncing it right, or Dream Flight in English. That is absolutely my favorite ride in Efteling, although I do love most of them, to be fair. Fata Morgana, or Fata Morgana, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but that's another one of my favorite rides at the Efteling. I love the music for it. The oh my god, I am so excited to be back at Efteling soon, and I'm so excited and happy to be here right now as well. I mean, look at this. Look at the beauty of the resorts here at Disneyland Paris. That view of the Newport Bay from this side is probably one of my favorite views here in Disneyland Paris, especially, you know, being able to overlook Lake Disney too. But I am going to answer one last question because I feel like we need to finish this off with a Disney question. So ZWEIOH, I really don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm so sorry, your username if you like. But they ask, what is your favorite attraction in the Studios park? So that's quite easy for me actually. I absolutely adore the Tower of Terror. Hollywood Tower of Terror in Walt Disney Studio Park would have to be my favorite ride in Disney Studios. I think it's just amazing. It's the great mix of thrills and theming. Like, the theming inside that hotel is incredible, and I actually really like the sensation of, you know, dropping and just the scariness. It's amazing. The cast members there as well are incredible. So yeah, I'd have to say Tower of Terror, although I do really like Ratatouille too, and recently with the Spider Man's Web Adventure. It's just a lot of fun, you know. My arms hurt when I do that, but I really enjoy going on it because I do enjoy a challenge. But with that, we are done with our little tour around the Disneyland Paris hotels to check out the Halloween decorations. Of course, we've got Disney's Hotel New York in front of us over here. On my right hand side there, that's where you can find Sequoia Lodge, but it's kind of actually covered because of all the trees, which makes it even more atmospheric. And then in front of us, of course, we've got the beauty of Newport Bay, and then the Cheyenne and Santa Fe would be down that way, which is obviously where we started our journey. I really enjoyed filming this video, and thank you so much to those of you who asked questions as well. I'm so sorry that I couldn't reply to all of you. You saw how many questions I got. I am hopefully going to do more of these videos in the future though, so make sure you follow me on Instagram because that tends to be where I ask the questions. And yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you enjoyed enjoy this kind of slightly more relaxed style of video. Like I said, for me it was nice. It was fun to kind of see the different Halloween decorations and actually just get a nice walk as well. You know, it's exercise at the end of the day. You're walking quite a lot. Today I've walked, I want to say, about 22,000 steps, which tends to be the norm actually when you visit Disneyland Paris. But it is time for me to slowly but surely make my way out and head to my own hotel, which is actually off-site. I'm staying off-site on this trip. Normally I do tend to stay in off-site hotels, either partner hotels or just good neighboring hotels. But yeah, thank you so much again for watching this video, and just thank you generally for supporting the channel and watching the videos, engaging with them, commenting. It's so much fun. And also to those of you who've been saying hi to me as well on this trip, every single time I come here I'm absolutely overwhelmed by the amount of love and support that I get from you guys. So big special thank you to those of you that I've met on this trip as well. It always means a lot. But look at Hotel New York behind me. It looks so pretty. Anyway, that is the end of this video. I really feel like I should go. I've been rambling on for ages. Like I said, thank you for watching. If you did enjoy it, I would appreciate you giving this video a like and sharing it with other people that you think might find it interesting, or I don't really know what this video was, to be fair, but like I said, I wanted to try a different style of video and I enjoyed filming it. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, and let me know which of the hotels in your opinion did the Halloween decorations better. I think my favorite, it's difficult. I really like Sequoia Lodges with the Bambi themed pumpkin, but then Hotel New York as well with the Spider Man, the huge Spider Man pumpkin in front of it. I think it just goes so well with it. So it is difficult, but actually, having said that, oh my god, I do think Santa Fe wins. Santa Fe's decorations for Halloween this year were just so creatively done, in my opinion, like with the traffic cones and the weird scary monsters. I don't know, I feel like that's my winner personally for this year. But I'd love to hear your comments down below. Let me know if you're visiting Disneyland Paris this month for Halloween, and any other things that you want to share with me. And also feel free to follow me on Instagram as well and subscribe for more videos like this. I'm gonna go. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Bye bye.